mgeni mzuri sana, wageni wakaribishwa Kilimanjaro, hakuna matata, hakuna matata,
Mweka wataenda,
hakuna matata,
wote tutamaliza,
hakuna matata, hakuna matata.
Lemosho Route Itinerary. This is a Lemosho route itinerary by Tranquil Kilimanjaro. Lemosho can be done in 7 or 8 days. So here is the itinerary. Arrival day. When you arrive at the airport, you will be met by your guide. We will drive you to your hotel in Moshi or Arusha. Thereafter we will brief you about your trip. After a short equipment and gear check, we will leave you to rest before your next day adventure to Africa's highest mountain, Mount Kilimanjaro. Day 1, Lemosho Gate to MTI Mkubwa, elevation 7,742 feet to 9,498 feet. Hiking time 3 to 4 hours. Distance 6 kilometers or 4 miles. Habitat rainforest. We depart Moshi for Londonosi Gate, which takes about 4 hours, where you will complete entry formalities. Then drive to the Lemosho trailhead. Upon arrival at trailhead, we begin hiking through undisturbed forest, which winds to the first campsite. Forest Camp or Big Tree Camp, also known locally as MTI Mkubwa Camp at 2. 780 meters for overnight. Day 2, Forest Camp, MTI Mkubwa to Shira Camp. Elevation 9,498 feet to 11,500 feet. Hiking time 5 to 6 hours. Distance 8 kilometers or 5 miles. Habitat heath. We continue on the trail leading out of the rainforest and into a savanna of tall grasses, heather and volcanic rock draped with lichen beards. As we ascend through the lush rolling hills and cross several streams, we reach the Shira Ridge before dropping gently down to Shira Camp 3,500 meters. Here we catch our first glimpse of Kibo across the plateau. Day 3, Shira Camp to Moir Hut. Elevation 11,500 feet to 13,800 feet. Hiking time 5 to 7 hours. Distance 11 kilometers or 7 miles. Habitat heath. We explore the Shira Plateau for a full day. It is a gentle walk east on moorland meadows towards Shira Camp. Then we divert from the main trail to Moir Hut, a little used site on the base of Lent Hills. A variety of walks are available on Lent Hills, making this an excellent acclimatization opportunity. Shira Plateau is one of the highest plateaus on Earth. Day 4, Moir Hut to Lava Tower to Barranco Camp. Moir Hut to Lava Tower. Elevation 13,800 feet to 15,190 feet. Hiking time 4 to 5 hours. Distance 7 kilometers or 4 miles. Habitat alpine desert lava tower to Barranco Camp. Elevation 15,190 feet to 13,044 feet. Hiking time 2 to 3 hours. Distance 3 kilometers or 2 miles. Habitat alpine desert. We begin the day climbing up a ridge and then head southeast towards the lava tower, a 300-foot tall volcanic rock formation. We descend down to Barranco Camp through the strange but beautiful Senecios forest to an altitude of 13,000 feet. Although you begin and end the day at the same elevation, the time spent at higher altitude is very beneficial for acclimatization. 5 is acclimatization day with a hike from Barranco Camp to Karanga Camp, elevation 13,044 feet to 106 feet, hiking time 4 to 5 hours, distance 5 kilometers or 3 miles, habitat alpine desert. We begin the day by descending into a ravine to the base of the Great Barranco Wall. Then we climb the non-technical but steep, nearly 900-foot cliff. From the top of the Barranco Wall, we cross a series of hills and valleys until we descend sharply into Karanga Valley. One more steep climb up leads us to Karanga Camp. This is a shorter day meant for acclimatization. At day 6, Karanga Camp to Barafu Camp. Elevation 1,106 feet to 15,331 feet. Hiking time 4 to 5 hours. Distance 4 kilometers or 2 miles. Habitat alpine desert. We leave Karanga and hit the junction which connects with the Mweka Trail. We continue up to the rocky section to Barafu Hut. At this point, you have completed the southern circuit, which offers views of the summit from many different angles. Here we make camp, rest, and enjoy an early dinner to prepare for the summit day. The 2 peaks of Mwenzi and Kibo are viewable from this position. Day 7 is the summit day. Hiking from Barafu Camp to Uhuru Peak to Mweka Camp. Barafu Camp to Uhuru Peak. Elevation 15,331 feet to 19,341 feet. Hiking time 7 to 8 hours. Distance 5 kilometers or 3 miles. Habitat Arctic. Uhuru Peak to Mweka Camp. Elevation 19,341 feet to 10,065 feet. Hiking time 4 to 6 hours. Hiking distance 12 kilometers or 7 miles. Habitat rainforest. At around midnight, we begin our push to the summit. This is the most mentally and physically challenging portion of the trek. The wind and cold at this elevation and time of day can be extreme. We ascend in the darkness for several hours while taking frequent but short breaks. Near Stella Point, 18,900 feet, you will be rewarded with the most magnificent sunrise you are ever likely to see coming over Mwenzi Peak. Finally, we arrive at Uhuru Peak, the highest point on Mount Kilimanjaro and the continent of Africa. From the summit, we now make our descent, continuing straight down to the Mweka Hut campsite, stopping at Barafu for lunch. The trail is very rocky and can be quite hard on the knees. Trekking poles are helpful. Mweka Camp is situated in the upper forest, and mist or rain can be expected in the late afternoon. Later in the evening, we enjoy our last dinner on the mountain and a well-earned sleep. Day 8, descend through the rainforest to Mweka Gate and drive back to Moshia, celebrating your successful climb, and collect the summit certificates. At lower elevations, it can be wet and muddy. From the gate, we continue another hour to Mweka Village. A vehicle will meet us at Mweka Village to drive us back to the hotel in Moshi. Departure day. After your worthwhile climb, we will pick you at your hotel and transport you to the airport, where we will bid you farewell, or alternatively, we can take you on a nice safari, Zanzibar beach getaway, or both to wind up your trip.